So, artists, your job isn't just to make art. Your job is to make art that means something to the collector. Instead of selling them just the art, sell them the status, the identity, and who they become after collecting your art. By the end of this video, you will understand how to sell the status, the identity, and sell them a piece that they can be proud of, something that they can brag about, because that's what they become after collecting that piece. Starting from the top, story is what you need to lead with. You always have to lead with the story, because the story is the essence and the origin of your art. That's when they find the picture, the big picture of what this piece, this art is all about. If they can see that big picture from far, they fall for it and they're gonna go for it and they're gonna reach out to you and they're gonna try to collect that piece if it is in the price range. So, for example, I just sold a piece last month called Raining Ideation. Raining Ideation. How did that name even came about? I went to a supply store, bought some supplies on my way back to the studio to continue making my art. As soon as I stepped out of the supply store, it started raining, and it was raining like crazy. It was just raining and raining and raining. And I have parked so far over down the block. So as I was running to go get into my car, so I didn't want to get wet, and I have all the supplies with me. In my mind or in my eyes, I can just see these streaks of just rain just dropping, and I can see it just happened. I can see these colors coming down as rain, but it was actually raining. So in my mind, that's what I pictured, and I just mental snapped that image or that feeling that I was feeling while I was running to go get into the car and drive to the studio. That stuck with me. When I got to the studio, I started putting that on the canvas, and with that in mind, by the time that piece was finished, it was just clear. It has to, because that's where it came from. So, and that became the Raining Ideation, and because the ideation, because that's just my style of painting, my style of work, my style of just free flow. That's my ideation. So, and I added that rain onto it. And when I told that story under that piece on the website, man, people were just calling, people were just asking, sending out email and asking me about that piece. And of course, this last month, that piece was sold. Another piece that also sold last month is also called Stormy Ideation. I was in the studio working, painting, just going in. I was in the zone, just creating, just doing my work. But I had a YouTube playing in the background. Sometimes when I was working, I would have like a documentary of some art story. It can be Paul Cézanne, it could be Henri Matisse, it can be Picasso, it can be just any of some of my favorite artists. I can have them playing in the background. But I was so zoned out, and that documentary finished playing, and the YouTube automatically just started playing something else, something people were on the ocean. It was something that I wasn't even paying attention. So as I was working, when I got a chance to turn around to see if I can switch that documentary that YouTube was showing me, because I wasn't really interested into it. I want to listen to something more arty, something more artistic, and something more historic. As I turned around, the entire screen was full of storm. It was just like this boat on the ocean going through this storm. But it was trying to it's trying to capsize, or something was happening. It was just chaos, and I can see this chaotic storm on the screen. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, this is dope. I like this. So right there, mental snap. And I saved that for another day, and I started working on that piece. So that was the story that I told on that Stormy Ideation. And that was also collected by a lady in Australia. As I'm speaking to you right now, that piece has landed in Australia safely. And she's going to reframe it on a because when I was shipping it, I unframed it and rolled it up safely and throw it in the tube and cover it up and shipped it over. So now that she got it, they're just gonna unfold it and take it to a specialist who's gonna reframe it on a beautiful frame, and so she can hang it up. So I said that to say story is so important. It is the essence. It is you have to give them the origin of the piece. Where did this piece come from? Once they can tap into that origin of that piece, then now we can have a conversation. Now they can reach out. Now, so story is so important, and it sounds so old, but even me, I was like, story, like everybody keeps saying the story, but that piece must have its own story. Every piece that you make must have its interesting story. It can be short, it can be long, but there has to be a story that entices somebody, that somebody can tap into, and they can see where that piece came from you. Because of course they tap into you first, and then the piece is an extension of you. So they first have to buy into you, and then they can buy into your piece. But if your story, the story that came from you, because you're the person that they like, they enjoy your work, they enjoy seeing you, they enjoy hearing you talk, and so on and so forth. And this piece happened to be your extension, and you tell the story of that piece, it's just automatically, they're just gonna relate to that piece through you. Because you are the product, you are the main, you are the hero, you are the main focus. They're buying that piece through you. So that story must be related to you and must be interested to them. And that's how these purchases happen. Moving on, identity. Once the story is told and they know that they're really, really into you, they can identify themselves having this piece in the position, in the living room, in the room, or in their space. They can see that, oh, I can identify with this. I can identify with having this piece in my space, especially with this story. This story is going to make me tell the story of this piece. Oh, I got this piece from an artist from New York. I actually met this artist in the street of New York while I was on vacation in New York, and I was just passing by. I was walking through Harlem, and I met this artist, and this artist was just selling it, and he said he also got canvases on the website. We got his information. Long story long, I went to the website and I saw this piece. I read about this piece, and I was just hooked. So I reached out, and purchase happened, or collection happened. And it's just as simple as that. Once they can identify as that from the time they met you, whether they met you in person or they met you online or somebody referred you to them, however that happened, from that moment to them coming in contact with one of your pieces and reading about that piece and reaching out to you with the interest of collecting that piece, that is how they identify themselves with saying that I want to have this piece because I can identify myself with that piece and I can identify that piece with me, and it's a two-way street. So if that story and you, the artist, are interested enough, they're always gonna find identity right somewhere in between. So, and if they can identify with that, they can identify with, I must have this piece in my space because I can even tell the story better than maybe the artist can even tell the story of this piece. Now you shifted this project onto them, and they're going to be the ones that are going to be telling the story of that piece for you. That is how people identify with the piece that makes them want to purchase or makes them want to collect. Moving on to number 3 is emotion. Me personally, the way that I carry that emotion onto that collector is by, I love colors. I'm a student of color theory. I enjoy the idea of talking about color, and I enjoy infinite idea of playing with colors. That is my track. That is my lane. I love playing with colors, infinite colors. One of the best things that ever happened to me as an artist is that I decided to just take that color theory class. And By the time that color theory class was over, I said, I have found my lane. I have found where I belong. So ever since that day, and to be frankly 100% with you, color theory has completely changed my life, because I can talk about colors from A all the way to the Z and beyond. I can talk about colors nonstop, and I can play with colors nonstop, and we have to sit down and just play with colors and just experiment and explore and invent different things in different shapes and forms and spaces with playing with colors, then you got me. Then I'm gonna sign up. I am there. So my way is I always use colors to carry some kind of emotion. I put colors together in a way that sometimes I can see myself, and I can look at my piece sometimes and say, I can feel some kind of music here. There's nothing music about it, but I can look at it and I can feel music. I can look at it and I can feel some kind of it can be anger, sometimes it can be happiness, sometimes it can be joy. And if colors can do that to me, and I can carry that same emotion onto that collector for them to look at the piece and feel some kind of emotion, then that job is done. So whatever type of art that you create, always stand back and look at it and ask yourself, what do you feel? What kind of emotion does that piece carry, or does that piece project onto you? What do you get? Like, what do you get from it? Do you get that thing? And if you can get that thing, then hopefully the collector will also get some of that. It is so important. My way of doing that is just using colors. If not for nothing, someone would say, these are beautiful colors, and that's enough for me. Oh, this is a beautiful color. This is a beautiful piece. Even if because the thing with abstract painting is, if you look at it 1,000 times, you're gonna see 1,000 different. It's gonna carry 1,000 different emotions. So if they can start with that, saying that it's beautiful, then I'm good. Because the second time and the third time and the fourth, fifth time they look at it, they're gonna see, oh, I can feel this, I can see this in there. Oh, and look, now I'm seeing this, now I'm seeing that, and now we're talking. Now the piece is doing its work. Now as an artist, I have left everything on that canvas and I'm just walking away. It's up to the collector to continue understand that this piece carries some emotions. If you keep looking at it, if you keep studying it, you're just gonna keep seeing different emotions over and over and over and over and over, and then that job is done. So having emotion is also something that we got to think about when we create a piece. And then artist mastery, right? You have to master your style, whatever it is that you got. So my thing is, I love playing with colors, and I'm an ideationist. I'm a free flow abstract painter. I enjoy what I paint, and I have mastered my own style. And that is the style that I carry. That's the style that I can talk about it. That's the style that I can talk about it on so many different layers and so many different levels. I don't care who's in front of me. I can talk about my style, my way, my painting, my love of colors, my ideation process, my color theory, my understanding of my own color theory. I can talk about that. So, and that is something that you should stand on. Master that style of yours. It doesn't have to be, of course, you can start by copying, by learning from others, but over time, you're gonna just have to master something which is yours, right? And if you can master that thing, it sort of becomes a mystery. When you're talking about it, people find it so interesting, like, oh wow, and he's the artist that, and he did this and he did that and he did that. If you can let people walk away thinking like that, trust me, you got it. And also, there's also has to be some type of another layer of mystery. Another layer of mystery. What do I mean by that? For example, like me, I create art. I sell art in the streets. And My art is created from my living room art studio. So that is a story that almost anybody who has come in contact with me, they say, oh, where's your studio? Where are you located downtown? And I said, no, my living room is my studio. Really? Your living room? Yeah. I transformed my entire living room into my studio because when I was out of school, I was broke. I couldn't afford to rent a studio, blah, 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 blah. So I decided to just turn my living room into a studio. That's amazing. So now that's the living room art studio story that they can carry with them. If they buy a piece from me, this is a story they're going to be telling the whole world. Oh, this artist that I met in New York, he actually transformed his entire living room into an art studio, and that's where he created these pieces from, and so on and so forth. And he sells his work in the streets. And if you meet him, you ask him if he got some canvases, he will give you his website. And so now they're doing the work for you. They become some sort of a missionaries for you, and they do the work for you because there's the layers, there's an interest, and there's some kind of energy within your own story. That becomes like your own story. You got your own style, and you creating your painting from your living room, and then you selling them in the streets, and you meeting new people all the time, and you telling them this story, and they hook. So the story of your art, of that piece that you want them to collect, and your own story, the mystery, who you are. You are, as an artist, you are you are a mystery. And if you can break that, you can break it down for them to get it. It's like, wow, he's an amazing. They will buy your piece, and they will go on to talk about you to other people, and other people will reach out to you. And the last but not least is visibility. If you can create this piece that you're going to tell a beautiful story about, try to make it visible. Put it where people can see. Make sure that piece is on your website. If that piece is not on your website, then put it somewhere on your Instagram page, or like pin it on top of your Instagram feed or something like that, so you can tell people, oh, go to my Instagram, on top of the feed, it's pinned there, click on it and check it out. Your work has to be visible. If you don't have a website, no problem, no problemo, but it has to be visible. Pin it somewhere on Instagram when people can just see it right away, or have it ready to go. As soon as somebody asks about it, you can just text it to them or email it to them so they can look at it, including the story of that piece. If you can do that, if you can do all these, then you are actually projecting the status of your art, the status of what people want. Because now it's not just the art, there's the art everywhere, and art is cheap. Art is cheap on Amazon. Art is cheap on you go to Google looking for art, you find all types of cheap art. Art is cheap on eBay. Art is cheap. Target.com. Art is cheap. Anywhere you go, this art is cheap. What people pay for is the status. People will pay for the status. They will pay for the identity, and they will pay for who they become after collecting your piece. So you, the artist, you have to be interested enough. You have to be mystery enough. You have to have an energy enough for them to say, I want to carry some of this energy with me, and I want to tell the story of this art through his piece that I just collected. That is how you sell the status. So take it from here, and the next time you create a piece, think about all these points and put that energy in there. I'm going to stop right here. If you find any value in this video right here, hit the link below. Go to my website. If you want to support me, go to my website. I have everything there. I have my hand-painted aprons, t-shirts, hoodies, jackets. I also have a few canvases left. All my canvases are actually sold out. I'm working on some few pieces right now. And don't forget to subscribe. If you are not subscribed, subscribe, share, and tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll see you on the next one. Salute. Peace. One.